Should be the third. And we're live. Welcome to Keepin and Spiel. That whole me telling you to turn the alarm off thing, that's what that was about, but that probably didn't even pick up. I shouldn't even say that kind of shit. I'm just trying to be funny, really. It's weird. Another fucking Monday. Here we go. We fucking basically, the only thing we have prepared today is we're gonna be talking about Game of Thrones a lot. Yeah, no, I just switched it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, we'll be talking about Game of Thrones and then other
I guess
stuff.
It's not gonna work. Fuck it.
And number 16.
I'll keep the Facebook chat on my phone, just cause it's not gonna be on the screen. Anyways.
Yep, another Monday. This is like the perfect day to do podcasts.
We should call it mundane.
I'm gonna cancel all those T-shirts I made. Yeah.
But yeah, alright, so spoiler alert. We're about to go in on Game of Thrones, so if you haven't watched, just don't. I'll say that.
If you haven't watched the episode last night, good for you.
Alright.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd feel much better about this episode if they just were like released 2 in one day. They're like, you know what? It's like here's a good one. You guys can have this too. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I'm saying it is, but I'm just gonna go in on it. I'm gonna talk about all the bad things I thought I hated about it.
I liked it, and then I told Anthony I liked it, and then I don't know the exact words I used, but I think I said this. I was like, man, this is such a good episode because I think what they left off on.
Yeah.
Just that factor.
Because it gets you ready. You're ready for the next episode. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's like going to fucking the Olive Garden and you get a bunch of shitty appetizers and you get that delicious, meaty, hearty lasagna dinner and you forget about the rest.
I would say it's really like when I go to Olive Garden, because what I do is I just fill up on salad and breadsticks. Like I just go way too hard on that stuff, and then later on, I eat my meal at home. So, like, the meal at home, that's episode 5. Episode 4 was the salad and breadsticks, which isn't really that good at the end of the day. But it'll get you pumped for the fucking, I don't know.
Last night.
Taste of Italy fucking.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Italy.
The only thing I could think of from Olive Garden.
Last night's episode was, to me, like Olive Garden because, one, I pay $15 a month for HBO. 2, I feel sweaty and
do they have a $15 a month deal at Olive Garden that I don't know about?
I've never been to Olive Garden. Honestly, I've never been to Olive Garden, and that's one of the things that I'll tell people about. Like, one of those things like so common or popular, like, oh, you've never, like me, like I've never seen The Matrix, and that blows people's minds a lot. And then I'll say, like, somebody will talk about Olive Garden and be like, I've never eaten there. And they'll be like, what, really? It's like, am I missing anything?
I mean, not really. You're not. But it's also like, dude, that's It's also funny when people say that. They're like, "Oh, Olive Garden. Like, why don't you get some real Italian food?" Like, dude, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you eat spaghetti that your mom makes, dude. Like, and you talking about real fucking Italian food, dude? Shut up. It's fucking pasta, dude. Like, do you like pasta? Then you'll probably like Olive Garden. It's fucking fine, dude. It's fine. It's like not fancy food or anything, but it's fine, dude. It's fucking pasta, dude. I don't know.
What's their tagline or catchphrase? You're one of us.
Or like your family or something. When you're there, your family. When you're here,
Yeah.
you're one
You're
of us.
one of us. You just start eating in the back.
You're like, oh, one of us. Ah.
Fuck, they don't do birthday celebrations. Like, you get yeah, hi, I'd like to make a reservation for 10 people. It's a special occasion. Oh, what's the occasion? It's my grandmother's 80th birthday, and shame on you for taking your 2 years left to live grandma for fucking. That's what's gonna kill her is the fucking
Right.
Olive Garden. But yeah, I'd like to make a reservation for 8 people Friday at 7:30. Like, oh yeah, what's the occasion? It's my grandma's 80th birthday. Like, oh, we don't do birthday. Like come out and sing a song, like a lick cannoli with a candle, with like a little Italian flag. Like, we don't do any of that. Oh, well, you just basically explained what you would do and you could do, but you don't do that. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't know that because it's our first time coming there. Oh, we'll do something nice.
Right.
And then you get to the restaurant, they're like, yeah, reservation for the Manginolis.
Yeah, right.
And they sit down, and like halfway through the meal, they just come out like, it's your first time. Welcome to Olive Garden.
You're like,
Everybody,
oh.
everybody's got everybody comes out of the kitchen. They just stereotypical like Italian guy. They're all got the white aprons and like the wife beater and like gold chain with like the fucking the Catholic cross just buried in like chest hair. One dude's got like marinaras just splattered on his apron. Like, how did that happen? He's just picking up the pot of
He's like, oh.
fucking gravy and fucking spilt
Yeah, they call it gravy. Dude.
gravy. Yeah, they do.
It's
Well,
not
how did we
fucking
get
gravy.
off?
It's not gravy, dude.
Fucking,
I'm just gonna
you
go ahead
know,
and say it. It's not fucking gravy, dude.
you start with the fucking gravy and
But
the
that's what they
fucking
call the sauce.
Hey.
Huh? They call it gravy.
the antipasta and the fucking braciole and the fucking
Gabagool,
fucking prosciutto and fucking gabo. And then there's just a
Cannoli.
picture. Is there a picture at every Olive Garden of just like Tony Danza above like a fucking above a candle, and like on that mantle there's like the candle below Tony Danza, and there's like Rocky Marciano's like boxing gloves, and then next to that is like a fucking, I don't know, like the original film poster of Saturday Night Fever.
You're just now it's like Applebee's pretty much. It's pretty much Applebee's.
I've
now.
never been to Olive Garden. I don't know.
What's that place with all the fucking shit on the walls? Shenanigans?
Do they have valet parking at the Olive Garden? Where do you want this fucking cocksucker parked? Yeah, I'll put. They just throw him the keys. Hey, Joey, go park this car. And he's like, oh, sure thing, Mr. Knickel. He just runs over. He's 5'4", and you would think by like how I explained the Joey, the valet guy, he's like 17, but he's like 42, and it's just he's 5'2". It's like, yeah, sure thing.
Sure.
He's got the windbreaker jacket on the back. It's like Olive Garden, you're one of us, and then Italian flag. You're one of us.
You're one of us.
Hey, you fucking you know, you're not a maid guy. Do they have any entrees that are named after people like fucking famous Italian Americans?
No.
The Colombo cannoli.
There might be like a picture of like Italy somewhere on the walls, like a map or something, but I doubt there's. Really, I think there's just like shitty fucking pictures of like bread and like random shit. You know what I mean? Like random
Bread.
bullshit.
Because the breadsticks are free, so they're
There's,
like,
wine.
hey, take a fucking picture of that. Put it right next to the rock.
Like, can we pull up the inside of an Olive Garden, what it looks like?
The Olive Garden, I don't know, man. It's still one of those big chains that haven't went under. I feel like the past couple of years, like a lot of big chain restaurants, like not like McDonald's and shit, fast food, but like restaurants are going under. Like Outback's on the verge of just collapsing.
Yeah.
Because you could make a better steak at home for cheaper.
Right. For
Just
sure.
go on fucking YouTube, and I'm sure Gordon Ramsay will teach you how to cook a fillet without fucking screaming at you.
I feel like Outback is literally like the backbone of Outback Steakhouse is the bloomin' onion, and it's just on its last fucking stitch of effort, dude. The bloomin' onion is keeping that place afloat, and nobody gives a shit about the bloomin' onion anymore.
Honestly, fucking like, oh cool, giant fried
what
onion.
This shit looks like, man. I don't remember the one around here looking like that.
Doesn't look very Italian in there.
All right.
I don't know what I meant by that. On the wall? On the wall it says Gabo Goal? Try to blow that boy up.
You could, there you go, that'll work, I guess. So I was gonna say you can download the images and just literally drag them directly into OBS if you want to do that.
Is he there by himself, or is the picture's just cut off? He's there by himself at the Olive Garden.
Anyways, end up on Olive Garden. That's how bad that episode was. Is we started with the episode and we're already talking about Olive Garden. That's how fucking bad that episode was.
No, but after I watched it, I told Anthony, I was like, oh man, that was a good episode. And you were like, really? You said,
I was just like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you were like, yeah. And then I was like, did you not watch it? That's what I said afterwards. And then I was like, oh, I took that because that's why I hate text messaging. There's no
right. Yeah,
context.
I guess I could see how you take that as like me being like, oh yeah, I haven't watched it. Is it? Because I haven't watched it. I can see how you think that.
Because then when you were like, yeah, and I was like, oh, you didn't watch it? And then I can understand like you being like, taking that out of context, being like, oh, what's he saying? Oh, fucking, I watched wrong episode.
or like, or like you saying like, did we watch the same episode? Because that shit was super dope. What's wrong with you? Which is fine too. There was some cool parts about the episode. I'm not gonna like hate on every single thing about it.
It was
overall it was pretty bad in my opinion. Like the decisions and like I don't know, just like lack of awareness for most of the characters just kind of bugged me. And like just like I don't know, man. Like I can only suspend my disbelief so much, and this episode is literally just full of like reasons where I would have to suspend my disbelief, which is like something I don't like to do. I know we're talking about fantasy here. It's like a fantasy film or like fantasy show with dragons and all kinds of magic and shit, but I don't know, man. I can't understand how Bronn can just walk into Winterfell with a Lannister crossbow in hand. Just fucking, I don't know.
that was like that was pretty early in the episode, I think, but that was like
we should stick to the structure of the episode. I know I'm just kind of skipping ahead, but
no, I was gonna say just in general, like that was early in the episode, and that was like the first thing that I was kind of like, oh, he's just, oh hey Bronn, what's going on? He just walked in, like, I mean, I don't know. He traveled all that way with the crossbow, and I get it. Like he's a fucking, they didn't have guns then, but basically a gun for hire and shit. But so he tracked the Lannister brothers down, and then Tyrion was like, well, what did I tell you when we first met? He was like, oh, well, if somebody pays me to kill you, you'd pay me twice. He's like, yeah. And then basically after he got double of what Riverland was, Highgarden, that's what Tyrion promised to him, or both Lannisters promised to him. It was just like he left, and then I was like, how are they gonna write Bronn in like that? Just like, I get what he does for a living and money, but how are they gonna do that? Like now he just seems like very minimal scenes, and now he seems like, Oh, well, I've got my money now. They
Right.
promised me this bigger castle, so I'll see you boys later.
I keep on upgrading.
All right, I'll see, y'all enjoy your ale. Bye. And that was it. That was
There's
that scene.
one thing about that's kind of adds on to that point of yours, which is like he started the scene by knowing he should not let Tyrion talk. He slapped the shit out of him, basically being like, "Look, if the more I let you talk, the more you're gonna talk me into some bullshit." Really. And then what happens? He slaps the fuck out of him, and then he immediately gets talked into some bullshit, dude. Immediately. Like, I'm like, all right, what was the point of him coming in there like a G and slapping the shit out of him if he's just gonna listen to him immediately after and believe him? Fuck shows without animations. All right, Brett. I mean, the show has an animated intro, so you're already off to a bad start with that.
Is that? Oh, it's Bologna bread.
Yeah. Bologna, Brett.
Say it right. Bologna. Bologna bread with the little fucking green things in there.
Bologna.
Or is it pistachios? Well, how can we make this fucking worse? You put some pistachios on there.
Pistachios.
Okay.
Fucking classic olive loaf.
Those are pistachios, right?
It's like a hard ass pistachios in your bologna, dude.
Well, I think they like
Bologna.
poach them. Poach.
Poached pistachios.
They put the
dude.
salty pistachio in like a boiling pot of water that has like vinegar in it, and it's like it's poached. All right, now bring out the frozen tray of bologna, and then like some dude like just pokes holes in the bologna all day. He's in charge of cracking the shells and then putting it on the bologna and being like, all right, this pistachio will fit right here. Picks up the pistache and just pokes a hole. And he's like, okay.
Somebody else.
Sounds
gotta
like a
push
lot
it
of work
in,
for
though.
a diarrhea fucking piece of meat. Fucking slimy
I know.
and shit, dude. That's how you're supposed to tell if like deli meat goes bad. Like if it's obviously like the smell, but when you're not sure and it doesn't smell,
Most.
you touch the deli meat, and if it starts getting slimy, that's bad. But bologna is just like,
I thought you were gonna say that most lunch meat just turns to bologna when it's bad, which is hilarious.
bologna. My bologna.
Bam, 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 bam.
Oh, gonna get flagged.
Oh, shit.
Fucking Weird Al's gonna fucking file a lawsuit
I know, dude.
for a song that he fucking jacked. So yeah, Bron leaves like a fucking redneck. He got his goal. He's gonna get his class on over there in Haggard. And then the episode, yeah. So the structure, the episode basically started after the war, and then
Basically started with like a mass cremation, pretty much.
oh yeah, the mass cremation. Everybody that fucking died, they just cremated them all. John said some words to honor them.
Let me start by just bringing up what's her name, the actress that plays Dani,
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke, worst crier in cinematic history. I've never seen a worse cry ever. I've never been pulled away from an emotional scene so quickly, dude. What a fucking joke.
You fucking
Anyway, sorry.
poor Jorah. The only time he could get a kiss is when he's dead.
Right. What did she say? Did she whisper "I love you" to him? Is that what she did? What'd she whisper to him? Or was she just kissing his ear?
I thought she was gonna say something, and then I feel like she didn't say anything. Because it kind of makes sense. Like,
I mean,
you
won't
can't
hear
even
her.
say anything.
You won't even hear her. So.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
That's pretty. It was so much worse than that, too. Like. I don't know.
like a
dude.
fucking Muppet.
Right. How she has such nice teeth for what's going on, too.
For being British?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, I don't know. It must be CGI.
Like, she spent most of her life in the fucking desert, dude. Like, how you gonna have, like, super dope teeth like that? Anyways.
Dope teeth.
Super white, pearly whites, dude.
I don't know. It must be like in the bloodline. Their hair is so blonde. Their teeth are so white.
Yeah,
They like the
eyes are so purple.
Oh yeah, that is true. So yeah, they cremate all the fallen soldiers, and then they celebrate in Winterfell. And then I don't know, did Danny like say that word?
Legitimately or legitimizes?
Yeah, the second one he said. And
Gendry.
Gendry. So now he's officially a Baratheon. He's not a bastard.
I felt like they did a poor job of pulling off what they were trying to do with that scene, where they try to make it super tense. Where like, you're Robert Baratheon's son, right? And I'm just like, I don't know. I saw that shit coming as soon as she called his name. I was like, here we go. Like, you know what I mean? I did not think that he was going to be in danger or like anything at all, which is, I know ultimately you're not really supposed to fully think that, but it's like that's what that kind of build up in that scene was like, and then she legitimizes his name or whatever, and it's like, all right, cool, that's cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, so they're all celebrating and shit, and then that happens with Danny and Gendry, and then dude, yeah. What else happens in that scene? One, it's noticeable that Danny's jealous of Jon because he's the rightful heir. And then everybody's like bullshitting and like pumping him up even though he didn't fucking do anything.
Right.
But they're all like, she's seeing that he's so well respected by everybody, and she's just like this foreigner, and like she knows she doesn't have the rightful claim. Nobody else knows that because obviously nobody knows Jon's a...
All I saw was her like, but he rode on my dragon, and then runs off pretty much. It was my dragon he rode, guys.
It was my dragon, guys. Come on. Huh. At last. Huh. She just runs away.
And then Varys, he sees her walk away, and that's pretty much when he's just like, oh, yeah, you know what? Fuck this.
He's like really, just from that, he saw the jealousy, and he's just like, oh, this bitch is gonna fucking... This bitch is losing her mind.
Right.
You can see the jealousy just burning eyes.
Right. Yeah, it's like, dude, I know that you're seeing something in her now that you weren't seeing before, but like, dude, maybe you could have waited, or you didn't have to wait until the very last chance to tell her that she's doing fucked up shit to actually tell her. Like, there's been so many opportunities in this season alone where Varys could have like been like, yo, I told you, I would have told you if you're doing something wrong. Hear you, but they wait until right when she's about to do the worst possible thing, instead of all these things that would lead up to her doing that worst possible thing. Instead of nipping it in the bud, he like waits, which is like, I don't know.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, that's true. Oh, also in that scene, Tyrion, Jaime, Podrick, Pod the Rod, and Brianna Tarth, a stupid city name.
Right.
Tarth. Where are you from? Tarth.
Tarth.
You look like a
Sapphire
Tarth.
Isles. Right.
They're playing a drinking game. It's basically
It's basically the only drinking game in Westeros, apparently. Also, because that's the only game I've ever seen them use while they're drinking in the show.
Oh yeah, they were.
I know they're doing the callback to the
season 2 with Tyrion and Bronn
and
that whore.
Shay,
yeah.
That whore for sure, dude.
Yeah. They're playing basically Never Have I Ever, and when you haven't done something that's a question, you drink. And Tyrion just balls out, is asking Brianna a series of questions, and then the last question he asks her is, it's not even like, it was funny, like, it was a statement like, you're a virgin.
Right.
And it was like awkward, and Jaime's like, that's not really a question. He's like, so Tyrion all drunk is like, okay. Never have you ever slept with a man in your entire life or a woman. So he covered both grounds, because he was probably like, that haircut
Right.
might sway.
I should cover some ground with this man if you're going to call me out on that.
And she was just like so offended that she got up and left.
She said, I have to piss, and then leaves. All right.
But
we get it. You're not a lady. Okay. Yeah. Relax.
But before she left, and after Tyrion asked the question, the only thing I got out of that entire scene was Podrick took a sip, which brought me back to like, what did Pod do to those whores?
Right. I didn't think about, dude, honestly, I didn't think about that till you said that. And I know you were half kidding, or I don't know, were you half kidding when you said he sung to them? I know it was kind of a joke, but like.
Well,
Is that a thing among is that something I just missed with I was talking to my girl about this after I talked to you.
yeah.
And cuz when you said that, I looked up. I was like, "Wait, did I just miss something in that scene?" And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the scene with him singing the 2 episodes before or whatever. I was like, maybe I did miss something in that scene. Maybe I just just went over my head. So I looked it up and I couldn't find anything. Then I was like, oh yeah, he's just making a joke about the other episode. But then I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know if maybe there's more I haven't seen or paid enough attention to with that character. I didn't know if that is a thought that people have. Maybe he didn't actually do that, but I think he just drank nervously, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, when I said that to you, actually I was serious, or I mean I still am, but the only reason that the only reason why that came up to in my head is okay, so he asked that question and Pod drinks, and I know it's not a group thing. Okay, this question's for everybody,
Right?
So that dismisses it, but at the same time, it was it was a big thing for episodes after Pod and the 3 whores.
Right.
Nobody, he was just kind of yeah, they didn't take the money that you gave me to whatever. And they're like, what did you do to them and stuff?
Lots
why?
of things.
He's like, oh, lots of things. So when he when he ended up singing in the second episode, I was like, in my head jokingly, I was like, oh yeah, that's what Podrick did. And then when he drank,
it's funny that
I was
that first scene with them whores is so much in your head that's the first thing you thought of.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He definitely just sang to him.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, and then when he drank, because of the virgin question, I was just like, oh, so I was like, well, open and shut case. Took 5 seasons, but we got there. Podrick just sung to those women.
Right.
Whores.
That's funny. That's a funny.
But, I mean, I don't know if that's, true or anything like that. I just, there's some things that happen in not just this show, but shows in general, where there's not a definitive answer. Because either the series writers just end up going on a bad route and they leave a lot of doors open, or B, it's it's up to the fans, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. I feel like that's my route with the whole Podrick thing, because it's not a big deal at all.
Right.
But I feel like just a couple of things that have happened, like the question and him drinking and then him singing, and obviously no answer after him spending the night with those whores. He didn't give a definitive answer. It was just kind of oh, okay, Podrick is that dope,
right,
that he didn't have to pay them. So it was just one of the things regarding that Pod's rod. That was just oh.
I like to think
he just sung.
Got a fucking major hog and you just gave it to him, but
maybe he's a eunuch. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
He's just fucking plowing.
This episode was kind of weird in the beginning. Some of the shots were really weird too. That whole them celebrating thing. I don't know, man. If you go back and look at some of the shots, a lot of them are really weird. Super close up shots of Gendry's face, and I don't know, man. There's a weird camera angle choices and stuff that it was it kind of brought me out of the episode. Cool, Brett.
Who's Allah?
Huh?
Oh, do you mean Allah?
Right, he doesn't know how to spell.
In a reference to what?
He doesn't know, dude.
Pod's
Brett.
rod?
He's just saying random shit, dude.
Yeah.
Baloney Brett.
Bologna?
Derailing the conversation, fucking who'd have thought?
And then when, so that scene of them celebrating in the hall or whatever at Winterfell, that's basically it. Danny pieces out like a fucking 6th grader, and then Pod drinks. The only thing I got is that Pod's pipes, not the pipes downstairs, but the pipes up here, just fucking, I don't know, maybe he sung to the girls and they just fucking got off on that. They climaxed. He's like, and then and they're just like, heck, oh my, you can keep the bag of coins. He's like, oh, thank you. I shall be on my way.
Good lord.
That's the only thing I got out of the first 20 minutes was that Pod's pipes.
Yeah, and he was gonna bang that one chick pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whores.
No, the chick in Winterfell or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
The whores. You don't even know the guy's name. No, I don't know. I thought they were just like hired whores planted in. I'm thinking like two now. I'm like going back and talking about this scene. I'm thinking way too much about fucking.
When I looked up the theory, there was a crazy fucking
I thought they were gonna fucking
crazy
kill people.
theory with like Littlefinger and him telling the girls to pay to give the money back for whatever reason. I didn't read it all because it wasn't what I was looking for about him singing, you know. But I saw that there was a theory about that though. I didn't read it though.
Oh, about Podrad?
About like that
Although
in the brothel or whatever, like about why they gave the money back, you know. Like another reason why, not that he sang, but that Littlefinger told them to for whatever reason. There was reasons, but I did not read them, is what I'm saying. So there's another theory besides the singing, but
yeah, so that's yeah, I'm like thinking wait, I'm trying to make the best out of that scene. It's like, yeah, they were hired whores, and it's like when the fucking army comes back, or like, I don't know, in Vietnam or whatever war from back in the day, like all the soldiers come back and they're celebrating, and then it's like the general gives like a speech like, you did it, boys, I'll bring them out, and it's just a bunch of fucking whores are coming out and stuff. That's what I thought that was. And
right.
In Winterfell, that scene.
It was kind of like, I know, like after something like that happens, the thought is gonna go through the writers' heads, like we have to make them at least like relish in the moment in some way, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Which it was kind of nice seeing them drinking and playing a drinking game and stuff like that. So I'm fine with that. But like, I don't know, man. It was just like, I don't know. It just felt like it's just the pacing of the season is just bad. Like they have to make these decisions to where they're immediately celebrating after like the majority of their army is just wiped out by the dead, and like here they are back to normal. Here we go. Like, I don't know, like this seems like not enough time to make all the stuff happen smoothly and like efficiently or believably in that world.
Yeah,
anyways.
fucking Gendry pieces out, and he gets
He pretty much goes to look for
Arya.
when she legitimizes him. So
yeah, he finds Arya, and she's, you know, doing Arya stuff,
right.
and then Gendry, because they banged, Gendry's in love, and he goes up to Arya and is like,
Hey, do you want to be somebody who you never ever wanted to be?
yeah,
Because I'm excited and you had sex with me.
yeah, you had sex with me, and it was quite great. Would you like to be my queen? She's just like, nah, dude, I got stuff to do.
Right.
Like, I gotta go south with the fam, and you know, she's like, you're gonna make a lady a really happy queen or whatever.
Right.
And he was just like, oh, beautiful, I love you.
They should have made that dragged out. Like should have made him like not accept no. Like, come on, but please.
He's just like,
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, for 5 minutes. She's like, okay, but you know, I'll see you later. And he's like, and it's just zooming in for like 5 minutes, like no music. It's just like the candlelight is just hitting his face and his eyes. You can start to see tears form, and he's just like,
All like weird and shit.
He's like, but you're my fourth. You were the fourth woman I've ever slept with. Like, she's gone, dude. She left like 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Get a fucking grip.
Right.
Go bang a whore.
Dude. You're a goddamn lord now.
Yeah, pull yourself together. What's wrong with you? You're a Baratheon.
Jesus Christ.
As soon as he just does that, it just cuts to a different scene. Like somebody about to get beheaded. He's like, boop. And now here's the High Garden's last words. And then after that, after Gendry gets stuck up or stiffed up, I don't know, whatever that word is.
I do like the parallels with that and basically a scene in season 1 where she's talking to Ned. She pretty much says the same thing to Ned.
But I'm not a lady. He's like,
right.
does that make me gay?
Right.
You have a penis. It didn't look like one. That's what he took it as.
Also, the parallels with that scene and the scene in, I think it was season 5, maybe season 6, with her and Nymeria, where she finds the wolf again. She's pretty much like, come with me. And she realizes the wolf's like, nah, I'm good. I got my own shit going on.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's not you. And then they solidified that with her saying that's not me, which is her saying that in season 1 to Ned and stuff.
If there ever was an episode in the Game of Thrones series that could use this song, it's so hard to say goodbye by Boys and Men, it's probably this episode. Just like Gendry gets
They should have
rejected.
just started playing that as soon as fucking Jorah started to go down.
Yeah.
In the last episode.
Yeah.
Or right when Theon charges, like when it goes slow motion, and you just hear that.
No, like Theon charging, it's just the acapella version of End of the Road.
And right when he gets fucking stabbed.
He's just like,
when he gets stabbed, it turns into the actual radio version with instruments, and it's like orchestra and stuff. It's just super insane. Like,
or they could have, as soon as he gets stabbed, it just the music abruptly stops, and it's just like him, like, oh, oh.
He's like, fuck, mate.
He's like, oh, that's blood.
He's like,
He just falls back and he's just spitting up blood, like a insane amount of blood, and the Night King's like,
he just
all right,
keeps
just gotta go.
stepping over him. He's like, come back here.
He's like, ugh, this is not good.
It'd be great if he stabbed him in the dick and he was just like, nice try, and then stabbed him.
Like the Night King goes to stab him for some reason. The Night King's like, that's his go-to.
It's like dick stab, dude.
Like fucking fighters have certain like fucking combinations and moves, and then the Night King's like goes to stab him in the dick, and he's just like stabs him in the dick and just looks up, and Theon's like,
but it makes like the he stabs him and makes like the like a weird like like a clown nose honk.
It
like,
sounds like that Happy Meal toy back like in the mid 90s. It was like the fucking the McDonald's blimp, but it was actually Kazoo. It's just like woo.
Yeah, it's just
that's the sound it makes when the Night King goes to stab Theon, and
Theon's like stabs him in the heart. Lord.
He's like, not today.
Yeah.
Then what?
Right.
It's like, oh, that's a series.
Right. What's dead may never die, and then he just fucking dies.
What's gone
one,
may
dude.
never get hard
Right.
again.
Right. Except for a dragon glass dick.
He just rolls over and opens up his hand, and it's just the blueprint of the dragon glass dick that he wanted to get made, and it just blows off to the wind and just lands on the like.
Or nobody even sees that, but they just are like, "The fuck's in his pants?" And he just has one in there. Like he's just like,
it's like, that's a nice cock. And to turn it up even crazier, the dude that finds it, like all the soldiers are like, "Leave him be. You heard John. Leave the bodies where they lay till later." And he's like, "Yes."
Till later.
And then he just like all the soldiers leave, and that one guy's just like, just sits on it, and then he turns into the Night
That's how you
King.
get the Night King. Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
He's like, oh,
They should have hired us for season 8 writing.
dude, $15 million budget per episode. Give us like half of that,
Right.
tax free, under the table. Or we can't just pay you under the table. But yeah, there was a lot of heartbreak. So Gendry was the first victim of that, because Arya's that girl, and she's just got shit to do. I mean, I don't know. You never know what's gonna happen with them, but I don't really give a shit.
The first time you seen her was a few days before that in years, dude. It's been years since you've seen her, right? I mean, how long's it been?
It was like season 3. I don't know the exact timeline
Right.
of between seasons.
Nobody
and
does, because they did a poor job of creating those timelines.
Yeah, if you can get to one part of Westeros to another in like 26 minutes, then I don't know. Yeah, so we talked about Bronn. I think that was a scene afterwards, and then Yeah. So yeah, I think the next scene was like Daenerys, Sansa, Arya, Davos, and Jon basically talking about their next move with King's
Hold
Landing.
on, before that, there's a scene where Dany and Jon have they're like their own little meeting by themselves.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
like
was,
after
yeah.
the celebration. It contains the worst 4 seconds of Game of Thrones history. Like the worst 5 seconds of Game of Thrones in existence is in this scene. And it's when she walks in and she's like, "Are you drunk?" And he's like, "No."
Oh, that.
And then he walks and like does a quick stumble and he's like, "Maybe a little." I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, dude? Like, how cheesy could you be? Maybe a little.
Oh. Maybe a little.
Well, I thought about this last night, so I'm just gonna go and I'm skipping ahead just to talk about this one tiny spot. But that episode contains the worst 5 seconds of Game of Thrones and the best like 3 seconds of Game of Thrones. And the best 3 seconds of Game of Thrones history is when Tyrion jumps off of the boat, dude. Something is so fucking funny about
so
that
wacky.
shit, dude. Something
It was
is
so wacky.
Yeah, it's like something that's so funny, dude, about like stiff little midget, dude, just jumping off the fucking boat, dude. I don't know why I thought that was great. I laughed probably harder than I should have, but
Yeah, he fucking.
anyways, the best and worst few seconds of Game of Thrones history in one episode.
Yeah, Dany and Jon. After Jon, I don't know. After what you just said, the fucking like worst 4 seconds, they have a talk about like Dany's basically like, you can't tell anybody that I'm your aunt and you're my nephew, and he's like, oh, I don't even want the fucking.
Do I want him to know I'm fucking my aunt? No, I'm good. I'm alright.
He's like, I don't even want the fucking throne, and they're like, she's just like, that doesn't matter. They respect you and blah blah blah, and he's like, oh, they're my family, don't worry. And he's like, she's like, no, like you can't say anything, you fucking idiot.
Right.
And he's like, okay.
And another thing is like they just kind of place that in there for plot conveniences, like convenience. It's pretty much just like, hey, I don't want the throne, but it doesn't matter because they want you to have it. It's like, well, ultimately, I could just be like, no, like I'm not doing any of that,
Yeah.
and like then they will lose the respect that they had that put them there. I don't know. Seems kind of like, I don't know. You just kind of place that in there for convenience to push that motive. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so Daenerys basically tells him that, and we don't know what he's gonna do till the next scene where him and Dany and Sansa and fucking Arya, they're all in the same room and they're making their decisions on what to do next about King's Landing, and she's like, well, talking to Sansa, Dany's like, well, we're gonna go to King's Landing now. And she's like, well, our troops aren't ready yet. They just got done with the war. I don't know if you were there. They're tired and shit, unprepared. And then before Daenerys can even say anything, this is what basically makes me think that Jon was like, okay, I'll keep it secret. He turns around and to his sister Sansa, he says, along the lines like, oh, we made an oath to the queen that she helped us and that we would reciprocate and help her in the time of need.
He basically said, I don't want to hear another word of it. We're doing it.
Like, listen, shut your fucking mouth.
And Arya was like, oh.
Arya was like, all right, this is awkward. So we get that Jon, basically we're like, okay, Jon's not going to say anything. And then maybe it's the very next scene where he's talking to Sansa and Arya, and Bran's just there. I don't know what he's doing. He's just fucking hanging out.
He literally is completely checked out until the main part of this scene happened. He's like mentally checked out. You can tell. You know, he realizes, it's hilarious to me because he realizes what's going on when he starts to tell them, and he's like, wait, what? Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, those four are talking in the Whispering Woods.
Yeah.
And Sansa and Arya are basically like, we don't trust her, man. Like,
can I just say one thing about that, though?
Yeah.
It's just like, we need to have a word with you.
Oh
all four of you are right there. Nobody else is in the room. Why you guys gotta go to the werewood? Like, why do you guys gotta go there? I don't get it.
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, makes me think like Brand's just so useless. Like, he's a fucking dog at this point. Like, they could have had it in the room, but it was like, we need a word with you, but we got to get Brand, so he's just outside.
He was
freezing.
there.
Oh, was he?
He was in the room. They
Oh,
had
'cause
all
he was-
four of them in the
oh,
shot.
yeah,
Like,
'cause-
they were all there. So it was like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he was in the back. He
Right.
just wasn't doing anything.
Right.
I kind of
It's
forgot.
kind of easy to forget about him when he's doing jack shit. I love how, like, that one scene when I think it was, who was he talking to? Tyrion? Bran? Who did Bran have a conversation with?
Oh yeah, in the opening scene, not the well,
Right.
technically not the opening, but the celebration scene.
Yeah.
Tyrion was talking to Bran and said something like, did he say something about his age?
Envy you or something.
Or envy you? Yeah, he's like,
he's like, I wouldn't.
yeah, and then just
I
somebody.
mostly live in the past. Like, where are you going, by the way? Now you got to go somewhere, and who the hell is pulling you around? Like, why? Like, way to make that ominous. Like, let's make him go leaving when he says this. Like,
Yeah.
why? Where's he going?
Just pulled
Like,
him out.
Where does he have to go right now?
Yeah, somebody just fucking. He said that, and whoever it was just wheeled him out the fucking room.
Yeah, like, why?
Gotta empty his bag.
I don't get where he has to go. Like, I don't know. It
It's
was
like-
just clearly to make him say that ominous shit as he's going away. Which, all right, cool.
I have to shit now. He just rolls his eyes back.
But he's just like, you just see him squint his face, like, right here, dude, really?
Back and forth. He's just like,
Like, I thought that's why this guy was taking you somewhere.
I have to
He's
take.
like, oh no,
I have to take a one-eyed raven.
oh no,
Yes.
one-eyed raven.
Okay. Yeah, they're talking to John in the fucking Whispering Woods.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we don't trust her. She's like a bitch.
Right.
She's like,
total
she's got
bitch.
blonde hair. Like Sansa's got red hair. That's okay. It's kind of dead hair, but anyways. And Arya's like, she's not one of us. So I was like, one, that's borderline racist.
Right.
Two, you're the man out.
In 3, I don't know. Like, regardless of what, like, I don't know. Did you not see her torching, like, thousands of fucking dragon or like dead fucking? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see that? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, at some point, you got to be like, yeah, you're definitely a good person or whatever. Like, from their perspective, at least. From their perspective, all they saw was good things from Dany.
Yeah.
Actually, like, that's all they actually saw was her do good things for them. Really, at the end
she's
of the day, like,
Because she's a foreigner.
right.
You fucking racist piece of shit. She's got blonde hair.
Blonde hair.
How fucking the irony.
She's a Lannister.
The irony in that. She's got blonde hair and blue eyes. She's not one of us. It's like some parallel universe with like Nazi Germany.
Right.
I don't know. The Starks are racist, I guess. Some of them. But Arya gets kind of swayed. She thinks about all the shit Dany did, and she's like, "Oh, okay. Like I still don't like her type, but I get what John's saying." And then John was like, "I don't know what really provoked it. I think he was just guilt tripping." And he's like,
It was because they were like, they brought up how they're family.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh,
pretty
you're
much
brother.
just like, about that.
You're not my stepbrother. You're not my bastard brother. You're my brother. He's like, ugh, guilt. I gotta tell you something. You can't say anything to anybody. So
Okay, cool.
then he looks like Bran, and Bran's like, huh, what?
He's like, whoa.
He's
wait.
like, it's up to you.
He said it's up to you, and then the funniest shit happens at the end of the scene is he pawns it off on Bran to tell him. He's
Yeah.
like, hey Bran, go ahead. Like, I would have laughed if he was like, no.
Bran's just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. He has no idea.
Yeah, like, okay, John's
He's like,
like,
well, I made all that shit up so you'd fucking.
look at the mess I created.
He gets out of his chair.
Yeah. He's like, later. And fucking, like, Hot Pie shows up on a carriage, and he just hops on, and they just fucking head to, like, where was the dude that killed the mountain? Or no, the mountain, the dude that he killed, crushed his head. What was his name?
Oh, Oberon.
Oberon.
Yeah, Oberon.
Oberon. Yeah, wherever they're from, because it's all like it's like the
North.
Miami Beach of fucking Game of Thrones.
But
Everybody's
that's
hot.
the thing. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a desert, dude. That's
No.
another reason
they're
why
hot.
they fucked that up, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So so Bran just jumps on, and they're going there, and just as they peel out on the carriage, it's just like "Still in the Night" by Whitesnake plays. It's like hot pie and Bran are gonna get some pussy.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, he looks at Bran and like, all right, tell him. And he's like, I guess he tells him. And then I don't know what the,
Right.
because they just cut out like Bran just they shut.
I'm kind of glad, other than the fact that we just didn't see the reactions. But I'm kind of glad because I'm sick of hearing that fucking part of the story being told on screen, dude. Like, how many times you gotta fucking tell it?
in such a short amount of time.
Right. Like, I guess there's some people that still don't really get it though. But
They're related and they're fucking, but the thing is,
right.
there's a power struggle. I think that's it. That's the show.
That was it. No. So they basically just go for King's Landing, even though
It's a bad decision.
Sansa tells her not to. That's another thing about that I just didn't understand is why is Sansa the only one smart enough to think of that? Like, I get that they dogged her as a character throughout 7 seasons of her just continuing to stay stupid, but like, you can't just redeem it by making her, I don't know, making her bring up common sense things and like adding that to the weight of her character, like to show her growth. Like, oh yeah, she thought about this common sense thing that everybody else should have thought about, but just didn't for the sake of pushing the show forward. Like, I don't know. Like, seems like kind of ridiculous. Like, I don't know why her. Like, why isn't not just why her? Why isn't anybody else like, yeah, she's right? It was just like she says it, and then now it's just a 1v1 conflict between them two about this. So it's like, why? Like, why make it like that? It shouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like that. Like, I don't know.
She's just like the kind of most logical person now, and everybody's just in agreement now that they're just gonna go to fucking King's Landing right after the war, all fucking travel however far with a half the army and like just beaten up and shit.
Right.
It's like, fuck it, we gotta move. Like, yeah, didn't you tell the Thorakis that too?
Right.
In the last episode?
You told them that, and then they put them on the front lines with weapons that don't do shit against the dead.
Yeah. Might as well give them fucking hot dog buns.
Right. For
Just
real.
throw them at them. Like,
For real, though, dude.
oh, I didn't do anything. I'm sorry, bud. So yeah, during the fleet with Daenerys' fleet, she's on her dragon, just fucking flying.
Maybe I missed like the whole actual tactics behind that, but what was the reason of them having such a small group of people on ships sailing over there?
Were they sailing to King's Landing or
Sailing to
Dragonstone? Dragonstone, okay.
Right. But still, like, what were they gonna do? I can't remember what they were gonna do from there. Like, what the actual plan was.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they would just.
I'm trying to figure out why they would isolate
Somebody
a small amount of her army for this to happen. Like, other than just for this to happen. You know what I mean?
Like fucking, I don't know. Maybe they were just gonna pick up a bunch of snacks.
Right.
Like, we gotta stop home first.
Right.
Grab a bunch of dragon gummies. Yeah. So on their way to fucking Dragonstone, they get attacked by fucking Bamar Greyjoy. And what's that shit called? The spider or
Scorpion.
Scorpion?
It's like a new and improved Scorpion too.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of them now.
Right.
So his fleet attacks Dany's fleet and kills one of her dragons, the other dragon, the fucking Viscera.
Right. No, that was the first one.
Oh, that was the one
that
that,
was the one
Night
that
King.
became, yeah. That one was Rhaenys? Rhaegal?
Remila?
Remoulade? Remy Martin.
Yeah, so her dragon dies. And then they get full-blown attacked, all the ships. And this is the scene where Anthony was talking about where it was so great to see for probably like 10 seconds, like the point where they start getting attacked on the ships by the scorpions from Bamar Greyjoy. And where he jumps in the water, it's about 10 seconds. He's just running around the ship. He's just like, oh. And then something would happen that, like, right before he would make his next step, something would happen. And he'd be like, whoa, and just go the other way. And it's just like, oh. And he's just like, fuck it. And just jumps off into the water. And it was just so funny looking just to see all that go on, like, because of his height. I'm going to say it. It was hilarious.
I wanted to bring up the impeccable aim at first against the dragon. Like, unaware dragon, yeah. But
yeah.
Let's talk about this, though. Why was the dragon unaware? You're at literally the best possible vantage point you could possibly have in this universe. Like, in this world, you have literally the best possible vantage point. You're in the sky on a dragon, and somehow a fleet of ships managed to go unseen because they're behind a rock. If they're behind a rock, they shouldn't be able to hit the dragon, for one. But if they're, I don't know. I just don't see how their dragon cannot see a big fleet of ships. I'm not going to suspend my disbelief to that extent, dude. Like, extend my belief, rather.
I get it. Like, being on a dragon, and then, because I've been on plenty of dragons, you're just high up there, and being over the ocean, you can kind of see everything. I mean, it's not like flying over a giant city, and there's, like, buildings, and they're just, like, in between buildings and shit waiting. It's just, like, open-ass ocean, and then all of a sudden that dragon gets a fucking spike through the neck.
Crazy aim they got.
Yeah.
They managed to fucking hit him 3 times. And then, seconds later, Danny fucking kamikaze rushes him, basically. And every ship that it's equipped with a scorpion manages to miss when she's going directly toward them. I'm like, okay. I don't know. And then, after they miss, there's got to be some reload time, right? Like, there's got to be some reload time for those things. I know they showed him firing off one and then firing off one again.
Yeah.
Not that very much, but, dude, torch the ships. I don't know. Like, what'd you do? You just dodged, and then where'd you go, dude? You just went in the sky? Like,
see it.
Like, good one.
Yeah, she didn't see any of them before they even got attacked, and then that's the thing that you pointed out. I was like, I don't know. Were they, like, behind some rocks? And I was like, wait a minute.
They showed that they were. That was the reasoning. But it's like, dude, how could they... Like, you have to be seen to see them, to hit them, you know what I mean? Like, in a ship. Like, you just have to be. Like, I don't know. No possible way to just hide like that.
Yeah, so all the ships, and a dragon dies, and then... So, yeah, all the ships get attacked, and then the dragon dies, and Daenerys takes off somewhere. I'm convinced she has ADHD. She needs to get that checked out.
Yeah, what's she thinking about up there just floating around, dude?
Everything is so wonderful. She's just like, yeah. So the remaining soldiers on that fleet from the Unsullied and whatever, they wash up on shore, and Grey Worm's like, ugh. What was her name? Missandei?
Yeah.
Say Missandei!
Right.
He's like, I don't know. He'd like jump back in the water and.
Yeah, like what do you think you're gonna do?
Okay, dude. Like, relax a little bit. She'll wash up.
Impracticableness, right? Just how impractical it is that the fleet somehow managed to, because she was supposed to go to the, basically like the lifeboat, pretty much, is what he told her to go to. He was like, go to the lifeboat now.
Yeah.
Before he saw that they were even shooting them with the things or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, how did they manage to destroy the fleet and get to the lifeboat in time to capture her and know who she is and all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how? How'd you catch her? Like, how? Like, you know what I mean? I don't get it. You don't talk.
Yeah,
like,
there's just like
they were so far away, like the ships, and before they started shooting them, she got on a lifeboat. Where'd she go for them to catch her?
Do you think like she got on the. This is the only like practical thing I could think of is like what you're saying is like she got on the boat and like they just after all the ships were destroyed and the Unsullied washed up to shore, she's still out in the open water on that lifeboat with who I don't know, but they see her and just basically take her captive. Does she wear? I can't think of the top of my head, but does she wear like an emblem like Hand of the Queen like Tyrion wears? Does she wear anything that would like give that away?
Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't have that position, so no. You know
Yeah, she just doesn't have a badge of something to her position.
That I know of.
Yeah, that's the well, anyways, that's the only thing I could think of. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, you're important because that."
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I don't know.
It was just like convenient writing. Like, oh, how convenient they managed to capture her and like, how? Like,
Bam Greyjoy's like, she's pretty. Right. Keep her. Look at her dark skin. She's so rare. So yeah, then after that, what the fuck happened after that? Oh, real quick, the Hound and Arya hit the road again, together, like old times.
Did they actually?
Yeah, the Hound was just by himself.
Oh, yeah.
And then Arya just came out and was like,
I didn't know. I didn't realize that that's what that meant. That they were literally going right then and there. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
He was just bailing out. Yeah, because the whole episode he was like, man, I don't want to be around any of this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're hitting the road together. But I think at the same time as that scene, maybe right before or right after, but around that scene, Jon says his goodbyes to Tormund, because Tormund's like, hey, thanks for letting us live with you and saving our people. Yeah, we fought for you, but we're going to leave. Yeah. So whatever happens to South, send us a fucking raven, and we might get it. So he's booking it. And then Sam got Gilly pregnant. I
don't understand the reasoning of like, hey, we fought the war. I know I'm sworn to you and to follow you, and I know you made a deal with her. So basically business isn't over yet. Like, he's just fine with him just taking the rest of his people and leaving? Like, I don't get it. Like, you're just fine with that, Jon? Like, that's just how it goes?
Yeah.
No, you're not going to bring up how you're down a certain number of people now? Like, or at all or anything? Like, I don't get it. I don't know.
And then, yeah, so Tormund's like, all right, peace. And then Sam and Gilly are like, yeah, we're completely useless, and she's pregnant. So we're just going to hang out here. We'll hold the fort down. And then, before Tormund leaves, Jon tells Tormund, hey, you can have my dog.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want that piece of shit anymore. I know it's like super loyal and saved my life multiple times, and
half its ears gone on its ugly dog. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
It's done with.
Everybody was so pissed. Like, everybody was so pissed that he didn't pet his.
And you know dog. Damn well that was just a financial decision that the show made. You know what I mean?
Like, we can't do that. The dude that plays Jon is like, this bad. That's just bad writing. People are gonna be pissed. They're like, nobody's gonna care.
Right.
Come on.
Okay, dude.
It's like, okay. And then all the backlash. Fucking dude just offs himself because of all the backlash. Like, he hates dogs. Right. He's just
That's the only thing I could think of why like the show would consciously do that, other than for the financial reasons of not having to like show Ghost anymore.
Yeah.
Which is like the only other reason I can think of is like that they're gonna show like that he is changing, like he is straying away from being a Stark. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like eventually, like show that. But that's the only thing I could think of why they would do that.
So what,
not on a budget for budgetary reasons. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, so it's like I can't have that direwolf. It's a Stark thing. I'm not a Stark
or like
some shit.
Not just being consciously doing that, but like for whatever reason, like him just like kind of abandoning that part.
Well, he's gonna be bummed out when he finds out his dragon's dead.
Right.
Now what are you gonna ride on? You have to ride that bitch seat on the fucking Drogon or whatever.
I don't get why they didn't make armor for the dragons. I know they have like armored skin, but that'd be dope if they just had sick ass armor, dude. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Jaime totally banged Brienne.
Yeah.
Took her virginity.
Yep.
And then fucking...
And then bailed on her hard, dude.
As soon
Ghosted her hard as fuck.
Dude, as soon as word got back that fucking Cersei attacked Dany's fleet, Jaime was like, "Oh no, my sister, I fucking love her."
Right.
He's like, "I gotta go." And she's like, "Where you going?" Like, she total, like, breaking her heart. Like, he's packing everything on his horse, and she comes out, like, in a robe, and he's like, "Jaime, where are you going?" He's like, "Get back inside. This doesn't involve you." He's like, dude, she was just like, "Please don't go."
She turned into a bumbling idiot, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
Just being broken down. Fucking Gendry, badass dude. Fucking blacksmith, makes weapons. Total puss.
Right.
Grey Worm, he's jumping back in the water.
Right.
You know, I get it. And then Brienne, you know, one and done, and she's just like...
Now, I bet you she's useless now, dude.
Oh, yeah. She's just like, "What? Don't leave." It's like, "I love my sister." He basically said, "I'm a piece of shit."
Yeah, he was
Like,
like,
you know who you were sleeping with.
right.
I'm a piece of shit.
I'm going to choose to say that that's like a cover-up for him basically saying that he can't really move on in life until he rids himself of Cersei.
Oh,
I looked at
offer?
it. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I hope it turns out. That's how I'm looking at it. Because he can't kill her if he stays in fucking Winterfell. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
just holding out for that for whatever reason, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, fucking... There's 3 different scenes of heartbreak where they could have had 3 different, like, sad songs, like End of the Road, fucking... And then with Brienne, they could have... I don't know. They could have played Sarah Smile by Hall & Oates. If you feel like leaving... Yeah, dude, soap opera. That's what you said.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
felt like a
3 different
soap opera.
parts. Yeah. Then after that,
I
I
get
don't
it
even
though.
know.
I get it. Most people are gonna be like, "Well, it's a setup episode." Well, I mean, one might argue that there was 7 seasons of setup that we shouldn't need 3 setup episodes in a 6 episode season. We shouldn't need that many. Like, you shouldn't have to. I don't know.
dude,
All the stuff should just be like tumbling downhill. It should just be snowballing by now. Like, instead of like it starting to snowball and then them solving the problem and then making a new snowball and then figuring that one out.
dude, last week I'm pretty sure I said on the episode we had, basically was like the first 3 was like the first chapter that dealt with like the Army of the Dead and stuff, and then I was like the last 3 episodes, the last 3 episodes are gonna be like, yeah, drama obviously, but like a lot of like foreshadowing in previous seasons, things are gonna get answered, and just like that kind of stuff. That's what I was saying. And then after watching,
We really got
nothing.
of that.
Yeah, nothing.
Right.
And it's just like,
We just got more advancement of stuff that happened this season, really, dude. That's really...
you think the writers were, when they were writing season 8 and shit and shooting, that they saw all like the fan theory videos and they're like, fuck,
Right.
they're fucking right.
Right.
And that's why this final
Just
season
throwing
was
a wrench in it,
postponed
right.
another year. They're like,
Right.
God damn it.
Could be, dude, but...
Who's got fucking loose lips around here?
Right.
It's like, it's just me and you, Dave. Quit yelling. Come back to bed. They're gay for each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, that just does not seem like it's going that route with the last 3 episodes. I mean, I can't be 100% sure, but if we're going off last night's episode, didn't see a goddamn thing.
Right.
There's a lot of fucking heartbreak and unexplained shit, like the whole fucking fleet attacking the dragon just out of nowhere, and
Right.
so I don't know if we're gonna miss anything else before I bring this up, but Daenerys is borderline fucking... No, she's losing her mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Varys and Tyrion are talking about that. And
Yeah, that scene was really cool.
Yeah,
Varys.
the dialogue.
Basically, that's the only thing that I thought was like super dope about this episode is like Varys just being like, "Look, man, I'm doing what I've always done, so
for the realm.
Get your bitch in check, or she's gonna be replaced. Is pretty much how it went down. How he said it,
Yeah.
which is tight. I'm down with that.
Straight up, he's just the greater good for the fucking realm or whatever. That's, you know. So, yeah, what was next? They fucking... basically what I feel like was next is that they go to outside the gates of King's Landing and...
First of all, what are you doing?
There was like 14 of them.
Right. Like, dude, they had more scorpions on that wall than they had people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
really.
basically.
Long ass fucking wall, and they just show up like, hey, that wasn't cool. We gotta talk.
That was so unlike like that scene alone. It was full blown like, all right, let's just make these characters not do what they'd ever do ever. It was pretty much like, dude, like,
They're just gonna talk.
why would Cersei not just light them all up, dude? Like, I don't get it. Why would she not? The dragon is like just behind them, like, I don't know, a couple 100 feet behind them. It's like, dude, they could have just lit the other dragon up, dude. Like 100%, just lit him up, dude. Kill it right then and there. Like, what's the why? Why not? Like, I don't get it.
No joke. I thought that was like a fucking dream sequence or some shit because it seems so unreasonable
Right.
to happen. Like, let's say Daenerys and Varys and fucking Tyrion and Grey Worm, they show up with like let's just say 200 fucking unsullied and a fucking dragon a couple 100 feet behind, and then there's just this high ass wall of King's Landing with Cersei and the mountain and Baemar Greyjoy, and then fucking the wall just with all those scorpion shit, and it's just like, yeah, like what's stopping her from just murking?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't she?
And then they fucking bring out what's her name? Melandi.
Yeah. Melandi.
Dude, I don't know.
Missandei?
Missandei.
Yeah.
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
My Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Missandei's in chains and she's on the poop deck of the wall. And they open up the gate door and fucking old ass Qyburn comes out to talk. Two
Yo, what up, Ryan?
Two hands of the queen to discuss each other, and Qyburn's just like, yeah, Cersei asked you guys to surrender, so if you guys could just do that, we can just get this done with, and
Right.
you can have homegirl back. And Tyrion's like, no, we're asking you and your queen to surrender, so if you could just open up the gates and everybody be cool when we come in with
Right.
our 200 wounded soldiers and our dragon that's not paying attention. And it is in a total vulnerable spot. Qyburn's like, I don't know what you're talking. That was like one of my favorite parts of the episode where he was like,
dude,
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Her up there, she's the queen, so I don't know if you have the wrong address, my man. And just pats him on the head like, why don't you... Halloween's not for another 4 months. Cute outfit.
I like how I do like how he's just like, because he knows that Daenerys is probably like on her last fucking, you know what I mean, last step. Like, she's gonna end up torching the city, which he doesn't want.
Yeah.
And that's why he's just like, you know, fuck this. He's like, I'm gonna go straight to the source here and see what I can do here. He just walks past Qyburn. Qyburn's like, okay, fuck me, dude.
He's like, excuse me. He's like, I'd like to think you're a reasonable man. He's like, well, thank you.
He's like, yeah.
But if you don't leave the premise, I will have to call the police.
Right.
So, yeah, Tyrion then makes a beeline around Qyburn and starts talking to Cersei directly and starts saying, like, you're not a evil woman at heart. Think of your child. You've always been a great mom through like terrible decisions, but you've always had love for your children. Think about your baby. I know you don't care about the citizens of King's Landing. Why should you? They don't care about you. And she kind of got teary-eyed, total predictability, like, oh, heartfelt. And then there was like no response from Cersei. And then she just kind of walks up to homegirl. And she's like, if you have any last words, probably now would be a good time to say them. And then fucking, what'd she say? Dracarys?
Dracarys, yeah.
What's that mean? Light them up or something?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And then Cersei's just like, on the fucking mountain, just total Babe Ruths her head off with that fucking sword, and she just falls.
I'm glad that they showed the mountain doing anything.
Yeah, dude.
Before the Clegane Bowl that we're gonna get, because dude, he's done nothing the past fucking like, what has he done in the past 2 seasons really, except for staying there like a goon, dude.
He would, dude. Honestly, what was it, season 5? I think when he came back as this reanimated fucking zombie thing. He was like one of my favorite characters because I fucking hated the religious fanatics and stuff and how they like. I don't like Cersei, but at the same time, like I hated the old dude.
Yeah, the High Sparrow.
And he was keeping the beautiful Natalie Dorm in a cell.
Can't be having that.
No. So I was like, get that motherfucker. So when he came back, when the mountain came back, and they were like, all the like religious dudes. What were they? They all had like that mallet or like that, basically a 2x4 with a spike through it. Those dudes, they came to like the keep,
right?
And they're like, yeah, you've been advised you can't leave.
One of them like a fucking moron, dude.
Just throws his or like hits the mountain in the chest with his homemade fucking weapon, gets stuck and
his DIY fucking.
He's like, I saw this on the YouTube. The mountain just like rips his head off.
Yeah, that was fucking dope.
That was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah.
That was it was the only thing he's done, like, since, I mean,
there was a couple parts where he was just like,
he stands there ominously. He does that a lot.
Yeah, when somebody would try getting too close to Cersei, he would just kind of like step in the way, like, oh.
Right. And it's kind of turned into like I don't know, like, Cersei doesn't. I don't know if this is like me looking too much into it, but Cersei doesn't even have to talk to him anymore. If you noticed, I don't know if that's me just trying to like, justify like that scene where Euron has sex with her, where clearly the mountain is like, no, dude, you ain't getting past me, and then he says something. He says whatever to Cersei, and she gives him the look, like, yeah. She never says you can come bang. But she gives him the look, and the mountain somehow knows. And then she knows when he I don't know. I guess I'm like, I think I'm looking too far into that. But
honestly,
I don't know if there's like some sort of telekinetic thing going on there.
Maybe like it wasn't shown, but maybe in a humorous standpoint of view, she used that same line, like, if you want a whore, buy one. If you want a queen, earn her. So somebody like, and she turned around and gave that look. And the dude started walking towards her, and the mountain was like, nope. Maybe it was just a practice thing. Like, that's her line.
Right.
And the mountain's just like, okay, when she says that, it's totally cool.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. That's
just his
the
movements
line,
and shit.
That's the line, like, basically, like, saying no is the line of yes. That's what you're basically saying? Because it was like
she's a freak.
Right.
She a freak.
She does fuck her brother all the time, and she fucked her cousin too.
And then
good old Lancel, dude.
Yeah, she's a freak, dude. With her outfit and shit, like in the previous 2 seasons.
Shoulder pads are tight, dude.
Yeah, the shoulder pads, and then like her whole army. She was like, you're all wearing black leather and stuff, and the mountain probably was just, obviously he doesn't talk. I don't know, but he isn't a talker.
He's like, oh man.
And he's just like, just fucking cancel that my outfit from Amazon Prime. His outfit was probably just like the red general outfit with like the little round suction thing on the shoulder, and it has like the little tassels, and he's got like a blue vest and shit. He's like, yeah, that's the one.
It's like the classic, like.
He's got his paycheck and shit that just came in, and he's just typing in his card number. He's like, security code. What's that? So he clicks the little button where it's like, ask you for your security code, and it has like the little question mark next to it, because if you don't know what that is, it shows you on the card. He's like, oh, 444. Arriving in 2 to 3 days. Thank you, Mr. Mountain. Yeah. Yeah, so
anyway.
So yeah, they kill Grey Worm's girlfriend. That's what I resort to. Grey Worm's girlfriend, and he's all, rightfully.
He's all butthurt about
disgusted.
it. Like, come on, dude.
Like, you guys didn't even have sex. It couldn't have been that serious.
Didn't they though, or what? That's what I never understood. Like, does he have a dick but just no balls, or did they take all of it? Because they had that scene where they did stuff, but I think he just ate her out, right?
I thought they scissored.
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking... yeah, they totally scissored to Pony by Genuine. Bam, bam, bam. If you're gonna get nasty, baby. Dude, tell me that song wouldn't work out for those two. Reach your ponytail.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And like fucking Varys is walking by and he just hears that music. He's like, what is this? This song is from not this realm. And he just walks by. If you're horny.
And then he walks in, and then they just both fuck her with no dicks, dude. That's like a fucking two dudes with no dicks giving it to her, dude.
And it wouldn't even matter because Varys is fat. It wouldn't matter for him lifting up his gut. He ain't got a dick. He's a eunuch just like Grey Worm.
She's like, oh, it looks like it retracted into yourself there, Varys. He's like, oh no.
He's like, finally, somebody I can compete with. Dude, Game of Thrones is better if fucking I wrote it. I'll do it for free. And then, damn, yeah, they were scissoring. You thought they had sex? How?
I just didn't know. I just didn't understand what really actually happened at the end of the day there. You know what I mean?
Just being
because she kept saying, like, I want to see, and then she has I think she asks, or maybe it was Daenerys that asks if they take the pillar or the stones, but they never get an answer.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, maybe he has a dick but just no balls.
Can you get a boner if you don't have balls?
I don't know.
No, like that's serious. Like,
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, people.
I mean, it's a bummer, so it'd probably be hard in the first place to get hard.
Right. People have they get fixed. That basically stops the usage of the balls, right? Does it?
Yeah, but that's just your semen tunnel.
Right. It's not the right. All right. Yeah, I don't know then.
The
They're
Nutway
still
Express.
making fucking sperm. They just don't make it there. That's what you're saying.
When your balls.
Yeah, they make like your balls still make the sperm. They just don't make the semen that it travels with to get out. I don't get what you're saying.
I don't know. I think they just, like in the vasectomy, I think they just like remove something from your nutsack that would. Dan's shaking his head at me.
I think they just tie it off.
They tie it off?
Tie it off. So right. So
I thought it was like a gland or something that like shoots those babies. Really produces the pups.
No, because you can reverse it, so.
Why would you want to do that?
Right, in case like some fucking hag talks you into having kids at some point in your life. I don't know.
Well, I guess that's the least of your worries if that's the person. I don't know. I thought just straight up he had no cock and balls.
I mean, that could be the case. I'm not sure.
He doesn't have a Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson here. They picked that guy to do the Viagra commercials or Cialis commercials. Jimmy Johnson.
Hold on. Isn't it also funny, though, that the weapon of choice for the Unsullied is the spear? Like, that's kind of funny.
That's the kind of...
No dicks, dude. You can fucking pick such a phallic weapon? Really?
Yeah, dude. That's the...
I don't know, guys.
That's the kind of foreshadowing and answers or questions being answered that the writers are doing. It's not the serious shit, but like me with Pod's Rod, it was just him singing.
Right.
Or, hey, what if the Unsullied, they got no dicks? What if we just give them a bunch of weapons that look like dicks?
Right.
And the writers are just like, oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah, fuck yeah. And they just kiss.
It's like it just...
And then they scissor to fucking In Them Jeans by Genuine. Baby girl. I was listening to Genuine at work yesterday, so if you're wondering why I'm name dropping, he's not paying me to like do this. That'd be dope if Genuine was like, just get a random email like, yo man, heard you've been using my songs on your podcast, whatever that is. Like, no, I just been singing it to Game of Thrones for certain scenes because this past season's terrible. I don't know if you watch. He's like, I don't watch that shit.
It's like dragons, dog.
Dragons? Nah, I'm good, man. But anyways, I'll throw you $500 a week an episode or whatever, man, to keep doing that. Like, sing your songs? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. So you got a
You're just
Venmo?
giving out best case scenarios for our copyright issues now. I love it.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about Genuine emailing me.
Right.
And I'm like the mountain on his computer, like
Just got done ordering
like I remember my email, but I forgot my password. So I type it in and they're like, your new password's been typed or sent to your email. Like, what? I don't fucking know the password. Yeah, and then the episode ends.
Yeah, it ends pretty much right there.
And they show like a 4-second trailer. And it's basically Bam Greyjoy looking into the sky.
Yes, unfortunately I saw that. I tried not to watch those, but I ended up seeing it.
Dude, like okay, in that trailer they show Bamar Greyjoy fucking look up in the sky and
He's
put
like, oh fuck.
you hear the dragon.
Right.
Okay, watch next week. There's no dragon. They just fucking edit it to
They
like
probably will do that, dude.
what? Just like the sound of a dragon and him looking up. He's
Right.
probably like, oh, I'm gonna
'Cause they
work
did
on my
that-
killer tan,
They
dude.
did that with one of the trailers where, like, they showed a dragon
Yeah.
flying, and then it turned out to be this scene in episode 1 where they're flying around in the dragon. So they just took John off of the dragon in the trailer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
They
really?
just took him off it in the trailer, so you wouldn't be like, oh, it's him drawing a dragon. Like, you know what I
Oh.
mean? Like,
Oh shit.
so I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. You know, like what would they be seeing though? Like, I don't know, like fire arrows coming, like, or,
Yeah.
like something.
I don't know. It's probably just Euron fucking. I'm sorry. Bam. Probably just fishing.
Right.
Oh, let's get some haggard swordfish, bro. He just kicks one of his buddies in the water, and he's just like, I can't swim. Like, oh, totally cool, dude.
He just goes down below the deck and starts slapping his fat dad while he's trying to take a shit. He's just like,
God damn it, Euron, stop it. Damn it, Euron. So yeah, that's the episode for
Earth dragons are fire as shit. Hell yeah, dude.
what are earth dragons? Is that like a strain of weed?
Right.
God, this earth dragon, bro.
Earth dragon. That's like a new cartridge for your fucking e-cigarette, dude.
Earth dragons? E-cigs. Smoke a regular cigarette.
Right. Well, what other dragons are there? Fucking Mars dragons? Yeah. What do we got here?
I don't know. Your vibrations.
You
I
getting
thought
a
I was just
call?
having a stroke. The last thing I'm talking about is fucking Bamar Greyjoy, and I just fucking die. Fucking give my eulogy. Like, Kenan was a big fan of Genuine. And cue it. It's like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm just sitting there fucking. Like, nobody bothered to think, like, looking at my face and my like stroked out dead face to give me a closed casket, so they just leave it open and Genuine's playing and just everybody's just kind of like boom 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 till I reach your ponytail. Funny thing is that Kenan loved that song, but his favorite line was until I reach your ponytail. Kenan had no hair. I don't know if you knew that. So like what? Just fucking rip on me.
Earth dragons, Earth dragon flavored pods. All right, Brett, you're gonna be the single-handed reason why I take the chat off the screen, dude. 100%, dude. Next week we're not gonna have a chat on the screen because of you, dude. Thanks.
God damn it, Bologna. Fuck, man. I got the Netflix up. Somebody. That's
I
funny.
saw that,
yeah,
dude.
I didn't see it, but that's funny. Someone put Steve Buscemi's eyes. Sonic. Dude, really work on the typing.
Yeah, like try to put those sentences together, dude. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now it makes sense.
And please spell Buscemi's last name. I think he spelled it right, actually. Never mind.
Steve Bruschetta.
Steve Buscemi. Come to Olive Garden for our new Steve Bruschetta. And he's back there. He's just like, the fucking commercial's just like a camera following around, like that shot in Goodfellas where he takes Karen out on the date and he goes in the back room.
Right.
But it's like that's just one guy. You're like, yeah, everything's homemade and fresh, and and then try a new Steve Bruschettas, and this dude turns around with the chef hat, and it's Steve Buscemi, and he's like, they're great. That's my Steve Buscemi. They're great. This fucking asshole.
I watched actually I didn't watch anything. Dude, that's the second time you brought up Steve Buscemi though. What's up, dude? Is there a great or good here?
The first one was him saying Brett wanted us to rip on Steve Buscemi. No.
Right.
Have a little respect.
Dude, there's a fucking series of books that I fucking it's probably my favorite series of books of all times. It's called the Southern Reach trilogy. I highly recommend anybody watch it. But in my head, watching or like reading, basically reading this story, there's this weird character, and for whatever reason, in my head, I saw Steve Buscemi. Like that's who I picture this character as. So like, I don't know. Read those books, Brett. And then think of Steve Buscemi. It'll be funny, dude. You just gotta read the books. It'll pay off, dude.
Oh man, I got Netflix back.
Nice. Have you watched I Think You Should Leave? Any of it?
No, I didn't.
just keep recommending this to everybody, dude, because it's hilarious.
No,
if anybody hasn't watched it on Netflix, I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson is hilarious. Great fucking sketch shit. It almost reminds me of like the type of stuff we would just talk and joke around about, and then someone would be like, "Hey man, that'd be funny as a sketch." Like that's what all of his sketches seem like our sense of humor in a sense, or like at least people I was friends with growing up and stuff.
Do we have an open spot next week?
Are you asking?
Are you telling us do you got a podcast? Are you inviting us? But I mean, if you mean to come on, yeah, you gotta just chug 2 gallons of milk in 25 minutes.
Yeah, bro, you can only come on if you chug milk the whole time, every time.
It's like 105 next Monday, and we're just fucking. Brett's just like, oh, dude. It's just him on the TV. It's just like, oh, dude, it's so hot, and then all of a sudden you just see, like he's chugging it to the point where like the milk carton's pushed in because he's just taking it down.
He's like, suction on it is so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the Netflix and dude, really, I don't know.
You
man.
sounded so old when you said that, dude.
The Netflix.
Man, I got the Netflix.
I do that with everything. I say that about everything: the Starbucks, the Netflix, the Facebook, the Instagram, and then the things that you would usually put the word "the" in front of. I just don't do that.
Right.
I gotta go to store.
Right. You want to go to movies?
Would you like to go? That's how I ask girls. I was like, would you like to go to movies?
They're like
what?
Excuse me?
2 movies.
No.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
I don't think they do double features anymore, man.
I'll look up some times for movies, and then I'll just DM you on the Instagram.
Hey, do you know of any good the movies coming out lately?
The movies.
Any good the movies?
Any of the good the movies.
All right. Sorry, guys. We do have an open spot, Brett, but judging by your comments in the chat, I feel like you'd be completely lost talking about Game of Thrones with us, dude.
Foreign as shit. Yeah, everything you've been typing is just foreign as shit.
Right.
I feel like I'm inviting my dad. If my dad knew how to use a computer, he'd be like, "Is this program?"
Right. I feel like the only thing you're missing is having like 10 exclamation points at the end of every fucking thing you say, dude. That's the only thing missing, dude.
Talk about soccer. I know. We did talk about
game? UC game?
New York Yankees #1 in all of Major League American baseball sports. Yeah, I got the Netflix because I was really intrigued on don't fuck with Game of Thrones, but I like dragons and incest. Okay, you could have just said the first part. Dragons and just stopped. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
He's been on the podcast before.
It's Booger Brett.
He actually drank a gallon of milk while he was on the podcast. That's why he said that.
Yeah.
We were gonna do the milk challenge, but only he showed up with milk. So
We just showed up. Like we got here and Brett was like not running
you're actually
late.
doing that, dude? What are you thinking, dude?
Yeah, he called me and he's like, we were all here and Brett was on his way. He called me. He's like, yo, I'm on my way. I'm gonna stop at the store. What kind of milk you guys want? And I was like, yeah, we're not really gonna do it. He's like, what? We're like, but you can. He's like, all right. He's like, I'll just pick up a gallon of milk and see how I feel when I get there. I was like, all right. And before he hung up, I was like, yo, stop at Starbucks and give me an iced Americano. He's like, oh. He's like, all right. I was like, anybody else want anything? So he called. Basically, him calling was like, we still doing this? I was like, no. But if you're gonna stop somewhere, can you stop at a Starbucks and grab us some stuff?
And then he still showed up with the fucking milk.
He came through with
funniest
everything.
part, right? It would have been even more fun if he was like, "Hey, you guys like have any specific milk in mind that you want me to grab for you?" And you're just like, "Oh no, we already got it, dude. We're good. Just bring yours."
Yeah,
that'd have been even better, dude.
Gets here, he's like, "Where's your guys' milk?" Like, chugged it.
All right, we already did it,
It's
dude.
done.
Yeah,
strawberry milk.
yeah. Brett would fucking show up with a fucking full gallon of strawberry milk.
Brett used when Brett worked with me in the kitchen, Brett would eat like a half pound of mashed potatoes, gravy, cheese, fried perch, and chug like 6 cups of milk, chocolate milk. I don't mean like in a week. I mean like in like his 15-minute break. Like I would get there in the afternoon, he'd be like, "Hey, all right, I'm gonna go eat real quick," and it was just all that. And he'd come back like 2 hours into service, he'd be like, "I feel like shit." I'm like, "What do you mean
Really?
you feel like shit?
You are shit."
You just made mush and ate it. "Hey, do we got any of that gravy heated up for my fried perch?" Like, no. He's like, "All right, that's all right. I'll just microwave some chocolate milk."
Oh no, looks the same. Just put cornstarch and water in my chocolate milk, thicken it up.
And really, he's just putting baking powder in it. Dude, yeah, Brett, we for
Like,
sure.
how long
got
you been
spot
doing
open.
this, Brett?
What, eating like that?
No, I just mean like working in a kitchen where he's putting baking fucking powder instead of cornstarch.
See?
Fried perch and chocolate milk, baby.
Should have fucking called the podcast that.
Right.
Fried perch and chocolate milk. Fried perch and chocolate milk. What you having on a Monday? Fried perch and chocolate milk. There you go, dude.
We need to get it. I'm definitely going to isolate that. Make a fucking song out of it for sure.
Somebody rips that song off from us.
Right.
The whole, because we're in limbo with like using music. Like at least me, I'm like, I don't know where we're at and how we can use it. I'll just see like a copywritten law and be like,
They do it?
Don't want to go back to
That's where we're
jail.
at.
So
That's where we're at with it. They do it though.
Yeah, they do it. Like just in the bio, put the copywritten law, and then just like they did it.
Right.
Like who's they?
We just list a bunch of YouTube channels that do it. Like,
Yeah. So
okay.
So I'm trying to like
Podcast called The Snitch.
the snitch.
Right. Right.
Everyone listed is doing
Right.
the same thing as us.
Like, flag that, dude. Called flag that.
Flag that. I was singing fried perch and chocolate milk.
Oh, dude, look.
Oh, there it is. Fried perch and chocolate milk.
Yeah, it's just like the bass drum is so like it just clips so hard. In the
It's
song.
like a
It's
fucking.
like,
It's like a fucking Gwen Stefani song. Like she just comes out with fried perch and chocolate milk. She's like, I haven't done shit in like 20 years.
yeah. Nelly
like-
Furtado does the chorus.
Fucking fat, washed up, sweaty Timberlands and the fucking producing. He's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And he's just like, she's in Nelly Furtado and Gwen Stefani in the studio, same booth, same microphone, and fucking fat, sweaty Timberlands on the other side, just like. And then like, he takes a piece of fried perch and just dunks in chocolate milk, like. and just like chocolate milk gets on the mixing board. He's like, oh shit.
And then he goes to wipe it and just fucks all the faders. You just hear the fucking shit going super loud and shit. Like,
But he would be like, yeah, I spent the rest of my money on like actual engineers and shit, so we're just gonna release it, girls. And they're like, okay.
yeah.
They release it.
Bwah.
They release Fried Perch and Chocolate Milk, and it's just like the fucking hottest song. Like all these 17-year-olds on their iPhones and
album, though,
and
for
they're
sure, dude.
what are those things? The AirPods? Because Apple just doesn't make phone jacks anymore.
Yeah.
So they're just all these like 17-year-old kids are like, oh, it's lit.
Yeah.
Fried
Speaking
Perch
of,
and Chocolate
speaking
Milk.
of, dude, I don't care, dude. I don't fucking care how many things become Bluetooth. You're fucking stupid if you'd rather have Bluetooth over a direct connection, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucking stupid, dude. 100%. Any one of you guys that are like, everything's Bluetooth nowadays, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Do you care about audio quality at all?
Like I listen to podcasts with Bluetooth things, but when I listen to music,
Yeah.
regular headphones in, so
Yeah.
I fucking hear the music.
Producer just said that he'll listen to podcasts with a Bluetooth headset, but not actual music.
Actual music.
And I get that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like I got a Samsung, but the thing is like nothing convinced me to like stay with Samsung because the phone jack or the headphone jack. It was just like if you have an iPhone, what is it? The 7s still have the jacks or whatever. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
You just stay with it.
Right.
That's cool. But the whole like, I'm gonna get the new iPhone. Like, well, it doesn't have the headphone jack, but the phone you have does, and it's still like relevant or whatever. It's like, nah, man, I'll buy those AirPods.
Right. Yeah. I kind of want to lose my headphones, so just let me buy these, dude. Kind of want to lose my shit almost immediately, so that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's just kind of a weird move. But I guess I can understand it if you're,
I could
Apple
totally
and just
understand
paying
it if you've been buying Apple products forever and you're too stubborn to switch because
Yeah.
you're fucking stupid. I totally get it.
I love my Samsung. It keeps me warm at night. Keeps me warm at night.
Pretty soon, dude. Pretty soon they're gonna sell the fucking touchscreen separately. It's like you're gonna buy this touchscreen separately. Like, oh, okay.
You gotta buy your numbers back.
Yeah.
They're like, all right. Like I gotta buy my
They're like,
contacts back. They're
You
like,
think we're not gonna keep buying your shit? I don't know. I'll do it.
when? Just all these kids are just like, when can I do that?
Yeah.
He's just doing this. Like,
Yeah, I'll buy that. Hits Jewel.
yeah, jewels. There's people that I'm not even gonna call it smoke jewels because they fucking put that thing in their mouth and
I'm
like
just strictly gonna call it Rip. Rip and Jewels, bro.
rip. Yeah, people that never
Actually,
fucking.
just sucking. Sucking's better, dude. Sucking on Rip.
Like,
on
what flavor you
Jewels, dude.
sucking on, Tom? Like the
Oh.
mango kiwi root beer. What mango kiwi root beer? Yeah.
Oh, that's odd. Let me try it.
You know what's funny about us juuling?
Oh,
Is that we never used to smoke cigarettes and never had a nicotine addiction.
so tight, bro. I love you, bro.
Well, realistically, if you're juuling, it's just. I made a gag sound. I don't know if that'll pick up, but when I watch it later tonight.
Hey, bro, you got a jewel I can rip, bro? Let me borrow your jewel, bro.
Hey, dude, I'm all out of jewel juice. Do you have any jewel juice?
Oh,
It's
no,
like,
let me
no,
just-
but you can just hit mine. Okay, cool. Dude, somebody's gonna screenshot that, and then at my genuine music-filled funeral, they're gonna post that, like right next to my casket. Like, let's remember Ken and how he would want us to. Sucking on a microphone on a Monday at 8:30.
Sick jewel, bro.
Jeweler. Ha.
Man, my cart's totally out, bro. You got any more juice?
It's just working with people in general, not me, but just in general. Like, you got the guy that's like, take a smoke break, and then you got the jewelers that are like, gonna take a jewel break. Just fucking hit that thing in here, man.
Right.
You fucking bitch. What do you need to go outside for? It smells like fucking limes.
Right.
You fucking stupid fat idiot. Yeah, dude, I just hated smoking cigarettes. Well, I actually never used to smoke cigarettes, but now I'm horribly addicted to nicotine.
Right.
But it tastes like strawberry banana shortcakes.
It's like so much better for you. Like there's like way less toxins and
Yeah, they're like still super expensive.
I'm not at all a fucking idiot. Like I didn't fall for anything, dude. It's
Dude.
just good stuff, bro.
I forgot my Juul charger. You what? Is that like a lighter? You want to use my lighter? No, Kenan. You actually have to find an outlet wherever you are, plug it in, and then plug in your Juul, and it takes about 20 minutes so you can get 5 more hits. You just want a cigarette? Ew, that's gross.
Ew.
You smell like smoke?
I'd rather smell like applesauce.
Yeah, I heard Gerber and Juul companies teaming up, and they're gonna make baby food flavors. I can't wait for the spinach and carrots. Oh, dude, spinach and carrots. You think they'll make a sweet potato one? I hope.
Yeah, I like how Brett's pretty much absent from the conversation now.
He's a good sport, probably.
Right.
No, he is.
Oh, never mind. I didn't see that. He said blue. I
Yeah.
think he's talking about those cigarettes or the e-cigarettes. Never mind. I thought he was so butthurt because all of his friends are Juul rippers.
Dude, they like just throw that. I guess it's like equivalent to cigarette butts. Is like the
cartridges.
yeah. They just throw them on the ground. Like,
Right.
hey, you fucking asshole.
Right.
When your stupid Juul company comes out with fucking cigarette butt dispensers,
Right.
you know, but until then, put in your fucking stupid pocket.
Right.
Save it, you throw your butt away. Like, no, that ain't gonna pop my tire, bro.
Right.
No,
Right.
dude. Like-
right.
Like, no, dude. You see that like tall gray thing with the little hole? Those are for cigarette butts. Let me fucking catch you putting a goddamn Juul cartridge in there. Hey, buddy. This is for smokers only. Get out of here. Like, oh, bad. Has anybody got a light? You go pull out a light. A Juul pod?
Anyways, fucking Juuls, dude. Juul rippers. Yeah. Hashtag Juul rippers.
Yeah, I got Netflix and then,
Yeah, you never even moved on from that.
yeah, dude. Oh, I don't know.
That was my fault.
Was that before or after we started talking about scissoring? I think that was after.
Right.
Sometimes I just black out. The doctor says if I stopped picking my nose, I wouldn't have so many nosebleeds, but
Right. Can't trust everybody though, huh?
nah. You just want my money. Sir, you have a tumor in your head. Yeah. And my money's not in your wallet.
Yeah.
He's like,
Tumor in my wallet that ain't going away. I know that.
and then I just take off the white snake's fucking still night. Gotta bring tumor, but I got more money. Yeah, I got Netflix, and then I watched the Zac Efron movie about Ted Bundy. He plays Ted Bundy, and I forgot what it was called. It's not the prequel to High School Musical, so right off rip I was bummed out. Dude, it was just a really slow paced movie. It's like made for TV drama about Ted Bundy. So just take that, and there you go. Like there's
Right.
no violence. There's no.
That's kind of what I assumed it was gonna be. It was like a made-for-TV vibe.
I was just trying to fucking see a Ted Bundy movie, and it was like, oh, Zac Efron's playing Ted Bundy, and he looks a lot like him and shit. I was like, that'd be pretty interesting, I guess. But it was just like a fucking drama about him and his girlfriend that he had, Ted Bundy's girlfriend, and
How
just
she-
their
How
interactions.
she didn't know. How
I didn't know.
Right.
Dude, like the first scene is like at a bar, she's there with her friend, and Ted Bundy's just like creeping, and she goes up to the jukebox, and he's like, play something good, it's my last nickel or whatever. And she's like, okay. She ends up inviting him over to her house that night. They're standing in front of their door, and the whole time, because this is only like 10 minutes in, I'm like, I don't know, that's his girlfriend or his soon-to-be girlfriend. So I was just like, bitch, run!
Right.
That's Theodore Bundy. Don't let them fucking beautiful sideburns fool you. And then her roommate opens the door. I'm like, oh, she's saved. She's gonna fucking just be like, I gotta go.
And
Then
then
her roommate opens the door and is like, oh, I'm sorry. I just, you know.
I'm sorry.
gonna
Were
keep
you
going.
about to murder her? I'll leave.
No, it was her babysitter. Yeah, 'cause
Oh.
she had a kid from a failed relationship.
All right.
Anyways, so the babysitter was leaving, and then fucking the girl with Ted Bundy was like, "So, you can come in if you want." They end up like, banging. He stays the night. She wakes up. He's not in the bed. She physically gets up out of the bed, looks in the crib. Her baby's not there, and I'm like, oh.
Right.
She's like running around the hallways, and she gets to the kitchen. Homeboy's like making breakfast and shit. Kids in the like high chair and stuff. He's just in a high chair. He's wearing her like kitchen apron, like with flowers on the outline of the apron. He's like, hope you like pancakes.
Right.
Dude, like,
Would you like some jus?
I watched. I think the movie's like an hour and 40 minutes, around there, and then I stopped watching it to watch New Girl, because I forgot that was on Netflix. So I just got Netflix back.
Yeah.
So when I stopped watching the Bundy story, I saw I only had like 25 minutes left, and I was like, what was gonna happen in that 25 minutes?
Right.
Was he gonna explain the fucking Game of Thrones season 8 finagling problems?
He just throws an endgame spoiler in there at the end. It's like, ah.
That's awesome. The best part, well, there wasn't many, but the best part was that the first time Ted Bundy got pulled over, did I tell you who the cop was played by?
Oh yeah, you told me.
Oh yeah, the cop was played by James Hetfield. He pulled in the car, and I was like, wait a minute, who's that?
Was he I should just ask, or I should just watch at least that scene just to see it. But was he like terrible actor? Like, I know we probably didn't give him any lines, but were you immediately brought out because you recognized that it was him, or did you know before the scene or anything?
Oh, I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know James Hetfield was in it. But yeah, he pulled him over at night, and Ted Bundy got out of the car, totally sus. And then, but this is like 1970s.
That's how you get shot. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
1970s America, white guy.
He was like, "Oh, hey."
Yeah, he's like. Anyways, but yeah, James Hetfield got out of the car, and before I knew it was him, he just walked up, and as soon as he started talking, I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, the license and registration.
You're out of fuel.
Oh no.
What seems the problem? What seems to be the problem? He's like, I'm out of fuel. He's like, you're out of what? He's like, give me fuel, give me fire. He's like, Ted Bundy's just like, I'm sorry.
He's just like mouthing the guitar.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, he's driving Ted Bundy to the gas station with the red can. He's like mouthing. He's like, excuse me, officer, what song are you mouthing? He's like, I don't know. I'm just really I'm into this like really hard rock and roll, like Deep Purple. Man, I hope my kid's a sweet guitar player one day. Anyways, he's like, okay. I mean, you couldn't. I don't know. It was James Hetfield.
Right.
It wasn't like hard to hear him say his like. Well, he pulled him over. There was those lines that he had, and then like about 5 minutes later, Ted Bundy was in like an interrogation room, and then Officer Hetfield walked in with like a bag of shit that he found in his trunk, like gloves, a crowbar, and like rope or some shit. And he was just like, "What are these things?"
Lawn darts.
That's how James Hetfield actually sounds. He's like, "What are these things?" Like if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast,
yeah,
it's like, "What are these?" Yeah, seems like a nice guy. Yeah, man. But I just started watching New Girl. And I felt like fucking Gendry, dude.
Did you just start watching that?
New Girl?
Yeah.
I watched when it came out. I watched the first 3 seasons.
Right. I feel like I've maybe watched that much of it. At least 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. It's like okay. It's like
Yeah.
Kind of like definitely like a chick aimed at female audience for sure. But the jokes are they're good. They got good jokes. It's good. Characters are tight.
Just when that show premiered, I didn't know. Like I knew she was in. What was that Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie she did, 500 Days of Summer?
Yeah.
I never saw that, but
It's a good movie, dude.
Is it?
Yeah. If you like, I don't know, if you can watch a movie like that, clearly a chick flick, like artsy chick flick, like indie-ish
Yeah, I
fucking vibe.
had never seen anything she was in up until New Girl, and I don't know, dude. Like the first season premiered probably like 8 years ago, and just like when I saw the trailer on Fox for New Girl, I was like, who is she?
Right.
I was just like, who's that girl?
Just immediately.
Yeah, dude. Fell hard crushing on Zooey Deschanel. And fucking, of course, I tuned in for the first episode, lit some candles, and And then the
You
first,
gotta set the mood.
yeah, I played like fucking the Isley Brothers. I was like, y'all can teach us. And then like the opening song is like, who's that girl? It's Jess. I was like, Jess, that's her name. I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm fucking telling you what happened. I fell in lust, man. But yeah, that was my weekend.
Yeah. My weekend was play a show yesterday. What was yesterday?
Sunday,
Played
Yeah.
a show Saturday.
Saturday. Oh yeah, you weren't at work.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah, I played a show on Saturday. That was kind of cool. At the old Token Lounge.
Dude, Dan, I told him he's down. Are you, speaking of Token Lounge, you trying to go see Origin May 25th? It's a Saturday. I don't know what schedule looks like on that shit on the weekends. Yeah.
Tight.
Brett, you're going to Saturday, May 25th, Origin. It's that band I played in the kitchen when you used to work there. That you were like sick drummer. Sick band. So Brett's going. That's cool.
Bring the milk.
Yeah, bring the milk.
Bring the milk and bring the metal. So overall, pretty underwhelming Game of Thoughts episode.
Right. That's what it turned out. That's how the vibe for me was like the writers are like, man, what do we even do after that crazy episode? Like, what do we do even? Where do we even start? And then one of the other writers was just like, let's just make them all fuck.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that felt like to me, that episode. It was just like, all right, okay. Just
Yeah,
gonna
You guys fuck.
everyone either try or have sex with each other. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, too, I guess.
I don't know, man. It sucks. It's worse because like if there was a 6 episodes, whatever. Let's just say that was the run of the mill number of episodes in the season. It just sucks worse because it's like, this is it, guys. Like,
Right.
what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
But if it was like another season, you'd be like, all right, maybe this is gonna like open
Right.
up something.
There would be stuff where you're waiting for stuff to get solved. Like, more stuff will be opening up for later on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so you'd be, like, more pumped. But this is supposed to be, like I said, dude, this is supposed to be the snowball nearing the end of the hill now. Like, not only over the hill, it's nearing the end of the hill. So you gotta, I don't know, stuff has to start happening and not just creating new things to happen. Like, I don't know.
Like it's funny. You look at the first 3 seasons, and then like how it was like, yeah, no character is safe. Now it's like, they're probably fine,
Yeah.
which is fucking insane to think about.
right.
Like, yeah, there's characters dying, but like,
Yeah,
The
I didn't even bring
level
this
of
up earlier.
impact.
I didn't even bring this up earlier, but like basically like what you're saying, they even added like, I know it was just like cinematically to end the scene, or in the scene where they start lighting up the boats with the scorpions,
yeah,
but like they show like the mast of the ship falling down, and basically looking like it's about to hit Tyrion, and then it's just like, oh, nothing happened.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that. Like,
yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? But I knew just from the way that the scene went that nothing happened, but it's just like, dude, like, why even do that? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Whatever, man. Fucking. I kind of, how I said, I'm not gonna overthink like the next couple episodes because of how the first 3 episodes went, and like I started putting questions in my head if they were gonna get answered, and it just didn't. After last night, I was like, totally did it to myself. I was like, wait a minute, Arya's going south. The whole green eyes thing. I was like, Daenerys has green eyes.
Right.
And then like that's the
Even though
fucking
she's
bear
supposed to have
trap.
purple eyes. but-
Yeah. But that's like the bear trap of like theories and bullshit that shouldn't really be thinking about. You should
Right.
just let it happen.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought when like after that, because people have been saying for the longest time since, they're like Arya's gonna kill Cersei because that's what she's been set out to do for a long time now, you know.
Yeah.
And like that scene where she's fucking chilling with fucking Ed Sheeran and his buddies or whatever, the Lannister army, you know what I'm talking about? In season 6 or maybe that was 7.
I think that was like the season premiere
Yeah.
of last season.
Yeah. But like she's like, "Oh, I'm going to go kill the queen." And then they have that stuff about the green eyes, blue eyes, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like they're just setting it up for her to kill Dany now. Like she's just gonna be the one to kill Dany. Like that's what it's gonna be. It's not gonna be Cersei. You know what I mean? That's the queen she's gonna kill. Like I don't know. That's what I think. But I know what you're saying though. It's pointless going down those rabbit holes. Is what you're getting at. Like, but
especially with like the last season,
Right.
fucking. Now it's 2 episodes, 3 more episodes.
2 more episodes. 2 left. I know, like
I
said
almost
this
feel like
after-
if somebody spoiled it, I'd just be alright, whatever.
right,
Well, no, but
right,
like, after being so underwhelming,
right.
it's kind of like, oh,
It's crazy how like my attitude went from, man, this first episode was kind of a bummer, to like second one was definitely more build up, but it was really good, and then it's definitely set up the third episode, which is going to be super dope. Turned out to be really dope. It could have been way more dope, but now it's just like, all right, here we are, last half of the season, and
Yeah.
what do we have to show for it? Like, I don't know.
Amelia Clark said that like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th episode are basically just like one big like long story. I don't know if that the
Right.
exact words, but she was basically saying like it's a continuation. Like they all go together, I guess.
Right.
Like part 3,
They better.
like with the
I don't know.
It didn't seem like it. No.
Right.
But like episode 3, the battle, and then episode 4 is like a direct continuation. Kind of. She was just
Right.
basically saying like it's one big episode, 3,
Right.
4, and 5.
Right.
And then I was just like, well, what about 6? What are you guys gonna do there?
The old wrap up.
It's just a montage. What if they did that? The
They just in
interview.
memoriam of every character. They just do like a fucking
like
That's when you get
random
that.
characters, random ass characters like that died in the background of the battle. And
Yeah, like,
of them dying, like they take stills from the their death scene. Like one dude getting speared in the chest. He's just like, and Boys and Men's just playing. And then they do the rolling credits, and they do that thing where it's like, oh, you gotta wait till after the credits,
right.
and it's just Grey Worm and Varys scissoring.
Right.
Bam, bam. Like, oh,
Good lord.
you asked 45 minutes ago. I told you. I'm like an alarm clock. Don't hit
But-
that snooze, baby.
But what were we talking about? Just like the wrapping up of that episode, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I guess I am excited for the next episode. I am, but it's like, I just felt like that episode was completely like, the use of it was completely to just set up the next episode. It wasn't like have its own thing going on or anything, dude. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh, in between battle episodes, like.
It was funny too because like on Friday you're like, bro, I'm so fucking pumped for this Sunday's episode. Like it wasn't even like being talked about. You just brought it up. I don't know where you're like, I think I said something about me getting Netflix back, or I'm about to get Netflix back.
Yeah.
And I should probably say like I canceled my subscription. It's not like I was put on Netflix probation.
Right.
Like I got back. It was just funny. You're like, dude, I'm so pumped for the Sunday's episode. And then when I watched it, I was like, man, that was a pretty good episode. And you're like, was it? So really now thinking about it, you're probably like just
Yeah.
defeated, like
I was
cold,
a little bit,
like just standing in the shower, just one hand on the wall, just water just beating on your head.
Pretty much, dude.
Like
It was
a-
almost like what is a, I don't know. Like, I didn't see like, it didn't do anything for me. It just left me feeling weird. Like, all right, I waited a week for that.
Yeah,
But it was just funny to see my reaction from the first episode to be like, oh, I was kind of bummed to, oh, these episodes are super tight. I'm now gonna take my position back about like, I'm just gonna let I said after the third episode to myself, I said it to a few people too. I don't know if I actually said it to you, but I said like, yeah, I'm just gonna let them do it. I'm gonna watch, and I'm not gonna have any complaints until the end of it, and I'll see what they address that I had to complain about. But dude, this episode was kind of bad, dude.
Yeah.
They might redeem themselves with the next two, like they did with in my eyes, with the first episode of the season. Like they definitely made up for that one in my eyes. Not that it was even necessarily bad. I just feel like there's such a small amount of the story left to be told that like you shouldn't be spending it setting up for 3 episodes of the 6. I don't know. Like, what do you need to set up anymore? Like, all this shit's like going down now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I like forming my own opinions and shit after watching something, but at the same time, I do like going back and seeing like how it was like received in the
Right.
general public and shit. Like I guess like a fucking, what is that, Metacritic and shit, or
Right.
just like like overall general views and opinions. And dude, like I don't know about the first 2, but the last 2 episodes last night in the Battle of Winterfell was just like totally mixed. Like not
Right.
really given again. That's just
I understand why people are mixed about both of them.
yeah.
I don't know. Episode 3 was like, it was kind of anticlimactic in a way. Just for not necessarily for the episode, because the episode flowed fine, like as a standalone thing.
Yeah.
But like for the actual arc of the full story, it felt like that was anticlimactic for the story itself. Like that episode was. So I was like, I could see why people would be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know about that.
Yeah, but didn't you say like George R. R. Martin didn't even have a character like a Night King? These dudes just kind of like
Yeah, like
in the books or whatever.
yeah, the books. There's no like real Night King like in the
roaming
show.
around and shit,
Right.
moving south.
Right. There is like a legend of like the 13th Commander who pretty much wed some White Walker chick and became like some kind of like, I don't know,
Like
some kind of
Night King.
version of that, but like this was hundreds and hundreds of years ago in the story, so it's like they kind of amalgamated that idea with to put a face on the actual Army of the Dead, like put a main villain on it. And I feel like that's where they fucked up, because like you're just creating this character like in a world that has all these super rich characters already made. You're just making a character that is like so one note and so not even in the actual story that like I feel like they wrote themselves into a corner and had to get rid of it, and that's what they thought of to get rid of it. That's, I don't know, that's what it feels like to
Yeah. You should just watch New Girl.
me. I think I will.
Yeah. It's just.
It's 2 hours and 7, so
Yeah.
I'm just wrap her up, I guess.
Wrap it up, B. So that was that with the episode. Don't watch the Ted Bundy. I mean, watch the Ted Bundy movie. Form your own opinion about that shit. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to watch it at least. See how I feel.
Yeah. But yeah, number 16, done.
Right.
And then they
Um.
got the YouTube page up, keeping it spiel.
Yep. I'm gonna post. If you're watching this from Facebook, I'm gonna post the YouTube channel in the comments. You should like and subscribe.
Fuck yeah, Brett, you're coming on next Monday, dude.
Brett, subscribe to the YouTube right now, dude.
Yeah, man. Have your kids subscribe to the YouTube too.
I know that motherfucker's watching videos of who knows what. What does your kid watch videos of, dude, on the internet all day? I know he does, dude.
Probably like Motley Crue drum tutorials.
Just watch. Your kid watches fucking people chugging gallons of milk, dude. That's what your kid watches.
They're like, Dad. It's a fucking compilation of people chugging milk and puking, but
Right.
it's to like Wild Side by Motley Crue.
And you're really on the whole like bringing up songs thing right when we talked about how we can't really do it anymore.
Or like, do you
I
not?
mean, you can bring it. I didn't mean it like that. but-
No, I didn't take it
I
like
know.
that because I don't even know what you were
Right.
saying. I didn't know
Mhm.
what you were meaning. I was just saying like, do you not like music?
No, I do. Like,
You like in a band, like you don't like
we
music.
were talking about the copyright thing before we started, and we were pretty much like, yeah, it's pretty much like for live, it's going to be even harder to figure out what we can copyright. And then, not that we're using those songs in these jokes that you're bringing up, but a lot of your jokes were like, hey, bring up this song. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just pointing out that it was more than ever today once we figured out we can't really do that. It's just funny.
Well, if we can't play it, so I might as well just like give
Right.
the
Get the joke.
viewer, because it'd be a
Create
lot
this-
better if we could just play the song.
Right.
So that's what I'm here for. Just remind everybody. Milk flavored Jewel Pods. We'll end on that note.
Yeah. I got a show next Friday, the 17th, at like Crossbar, I want to say it is, in Ypsilanti. Come out to that.
Crossbar?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Sounds
It's
like a
not-
gym.
Right. I'm not actually sure the name of the fucking bar. I can actually look it up right now, though.
You guys got a gig at a fucking like a non-franchise gym just with a bunch of 50-year-old dudes pumping iron. Like, keep it down. I'm trying to do these leg squats. Got the big belt that helps them lift it or something. Or blow out their asshole. I don't know what that belt's for. I don't have a gig Friday. I got a gig at work. I'm making an appearance there. They pay me, so I show up.
Cool. Now the event that I definitely shared a few days ago is gone off my timeline.
Maybe it got canceled. You won't be needing that. Dan, you got anything going on this weekend? Dan shakes his head no.
Yeah, that was Keepin It Spiel episode 16, I guess.
He said, I guess.
Yeah. Next week we'll be on.
Brett, unless he flakes, Brett will be our guest. And
Yeah, you just all you gotta do, Brett, is just catch up on Game of Thrones before then. So, no, I'm just kidding. You don't have to. You don't have to watch it. But we will be talking about it mostly. So, you might want to wait till the season's over before you do a guest spot if you actually want to participate. So,
you just fucking open up the show with the podcast 3 Rock,
right,
and then Brett just walks in.
right.
Cause I'm just tell him a fake time.
Right.
Like, Brett, be here at 7. All right. Like, we're already starting. We just end it. He's like, hey. Like, oh, yeah, we got all your stuff set up.
Sorry, dude.
Microphone's just not even on. Whoops. But, yeah, Keepin It Spiel number 16. Subscribe, share, like. If anybody can figure out the copyright law, that would help me out a lot. Just me personally. Yeah. But, is that it?
Yeah. Later.
Hold on.